British actor Alan Rothell reportedly passed away after battling a brief illness on May 14, 2026, at the age of 89. American movie critic and television personality Rex Reed sadly died following a short illness on May 12, 2026, at the age of 87. British actor and reality TV figure Jake Hall tragically lost his life after suffering severe head injuries in an accident in May 2026 at the age of 35. American actor Patrick Mullen reportedly died from a heart attack on April 19, 2026 at the age of 57. American actress Mary Beth Hurt passed away after battling Alzheimer's disease on March 28, 2026 at the age of 79. American martial artist and Hollywood star Chuck Norris reportedly passed away unexpectedly on March 19, 2026 at the age of 86. American actor Bobby J. Brown died from smoke inhalation following a devastating barn fire on February 25, 2026. At the age of 62. American film actor Robert Carradine reportedly died by suicide after struggling with bipolar disorder on February 23, 2026, at the age of 71. American actor James Van Der Beek passed away after a battle with colorectal cancer on February 11, 2026, at the age of 48. French singer and actress Claudine Longet reportedly died of natural causes on May 14, 2026. At the age of 84. American actor Donald Gibb died following complications from throat cancer on May 12, 2026 at the age of 71. Legendary baseball manager Bobby Cox reportedly passed away in May 2026 at the age of 85, though the cause of death was not publicly revealed. American actress Jennifer Harmon reportedly died of natural causes on May 9, 2026, at the age of 82. Legendary American actor Robert Duvall peacefully passed away at home on February 15, 2026, at the age of 95. British stage and screen actor Michael Pennington reportedly died on May 7, 2026, at the age of 82, with no official cause disclosed. American actor Jonathan Tiersten reportedly passed away in May 2026 at the age of 60. Irish actor Gary Lydon reportedly died suddenly on April 30, 2026, at the age of 61. American actor Eric Dane reportedly passed away from respiratory failure linked to ALS on February 19, 2026 at the age of 53. French actress Nathalie Baye reportedly died from complications related to Lewy body dementia on April 17, 2026 at the age of 77. American actor Bud Cort passed away from pneumonia after a lengthy illness on February 11, 2026 at the age of 77. British actress Angela Pleasance reportedly died on April 6, 2026 at the age of 84. American actress Dee Freeman reportedly passed away from lung cancer on April 2, 2026 at the age of 66. Veteran American actor James Tolkien reportedly died on March 26, 2026 at the age of 94. Though no official cause was announced. American actress Valerie Perrine passed away from complications related to Parkinson's disease on March 23, 2026 at the age of 82. Canadian actress Catherine O'Hara reportedly died from a pulmonary embolism on January 30, 2026 at the age of 71. American actor Gil Gerard reportedly passed away after battling pancreatic cancer on December 16, 2025. At the age of 82, American actor Peter Green tragically died from an accidental gunshot wound on December 12, 2025, at the age of 66. Veteran American actress Diane Ladd reportedly died of natural causes on November 3, 2025, at the age of 90. Oscar-winning American actress Diane Keaton reportedly passed away due to bacterial pneumonia on October 11, 2025, at the age of 79. Legendary Hollywood star Robert Redford reportedly died of natural causes on September 16, 2025, at the age of 89. Australian psychologist and television personality Mel Schilling reportedly passed away after a battle with colon cancer on March 24, 2026, at the age of 54. Beloved British actress Patricia Routledge peacefully passed away in her sleep on October 3, 2025, at the age of 96. American actor Alex Duong reportedly died following a battle with a rare soft tissue cancer on March 28, 2026, at the age of 42. American actress Polly Holliday reportedly passed away from pneumonia on September 9, 2025, at the age of 88. Canadian actor Graham Greene reportedly died after a prolonged illness on September 1, 2025, at the age of 73. American documentary filmmaker Frederick Wiseman reportedly passed away of natural causes on February 16, 2026, at the age of 96. American actor Malcolm Jamal Warner tragically died by drowning on July 20, 2025, at the age of 54. Australian actor Julian McMahon reportedly passed away from lung metastasis related to head and neck cancer on July 2, 2025, at the age of 56. British actor Tom Georgeson reportedly died on March 18, 2026, at the age of 89. South African actor Solly Philander reportedly passed away after battling cancer on March 4, 2026, at the age of 65. Legendary primatologist and conservationist Jane Goodall reportedly died from cardiac arrest on October 1, 2025, at the age of 91. Canadian acting legend Donald Sutherland reportedly passed away from chronic obstructive pulmonary disease on June 20, 2024, at the age of 88. English-Australian actor Tristan Rogers reportedly died from heart failure on August 15, 2025, at the age of 80. American actress Kimberly Haybert Gregory reportedly passed away on October 3, 2025, at the age of 52. American actress Sally Kirkland reportedly died of natural causes on November 11, 2025, at the age of 84. Legendary American actor James Earl Jones reportedly passed away of natural causes on September 9, 2024, at the age of 93. British actress Prunella Scales peacefully passed away at home after battling vascular dementia on October 27, 2025, at the age of 93. American singer-songwriter Neil Sedaka reportedly died from atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease on February 27, 2026, at the age of 86. American actress Shannon Doherty reportedly passed away after a battle with metastatic breast cancer on July 13, 2024, at the age of 53. British actress Sheila Burnett reportedly died of natural causes on January 12, 2026, at the age of 94. South Korean actor Jung Yun-woo reportedly died suddenly on February 11, 2026, at the age of 39. American actor Matthew Perry tragically passed away by drowning on October 28, 2023, at the age of 54. American rapper and producer John Forte reportedly passed away in January 2026 at the age of 49. American actor John Cunningham reportedly died from complications related to heart disease on January 6, 2026, at the age of 92. Irish-British actor Michael Gambon reportedly passed away from pneumonia on September 27, 2023, at the age of 82. American television icon Wink Martindale passed away on April 15, 2025, at the age of 91. He was widely recognized for hosting classic game shows including Tic-Tac-Toe, Gambit, High Rollers, and Debt. American actress Loretta Swit passed away on May 30, 2025, at the age of 87. She was best known for her Emmy-winning portrayal of Major Margaret Hot Lips Houlihan in the hit TV series MASH. Legendary comedian and actor Bob Newhart passed away on July 18, 2025, at the age of 95. He was celebrated for starring in The Bob Newhart Show and Newhart, along with his iconic stand-up comedy career. Spanish actress Veronica Echegui passed away on August 24, 2025, at the age of 42. She was widely recognized for her performances in My Name is Juani, Fortitude, Book of Love and the television series Love You to Death. American actor George Wendt passed away on May 20th, 2025, at the age of 76. He was best known for playing Norm Peterson on the iconic sitcom Cheers, along with numerous appearances in film and television. Australian musician and drummer Rob Hurst passed away on January 20th, 2026, at the age of 71. He was widely celebrated as the founding drummer of the legendary rock band Midnight Oil. American actor Ryan O'Neal passed away on December 8, 2023, at the age of 82. He was best known for his Oscar-nominated performance in Love Story and starring roles in Paper Moon and Barry Lyndon. British singer and actress Marianne Faithfull passed away on January 30th, 2025, at the age of 78. She was best known for the hit song As Tears Go By and her influential career in music and film. American actor and celebrity photographer Brad Everett Young passed away on September 17, 2025, at the age of 51. He was recognized for appearances in Grey's Anatomy, Charlie's Angels, and his work photographing Hollywood celebrities. American actress and dancer Sandra Lee passed away on February 23, 2026, at the age of 97. She was best known for originating the role of Tiger Lily in Peter Pan and Minnie Fay in Hello, Dolly on Broadway. Legendary British actress Maggie Smith passed away on September 27, 2024, at the age of 89. She was celebrated for Oscar-winning performances in the prime of Miss Jean Brodie and California Suite, as well as portraying Professor McGonagall in the Harry Potter films and Violet Crawley in Downton Abbey. American actress Lar Park Lincoln passed away on April 22, 2025, at the age of 63. She was best known for her role as Tina Shepard in Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood, and as Linda Fairgate on Knots Landing. American actor Sidney Kubrick passed away on January 2, 2026, at the age of 97. He was remembered for his childhood role as Woeem in the classic Our Gang/Little Rascals comedy shorts. Hollywood icon Raquel Welch passed away on February 15, 2023, at the age of 82. She was best known for starring in 1 Million Years BC, Fantastic Voyage, and winning a Golden Globe for The Three Musketeers. British jazz singer and actress Cleo Lane passed away on July 24, 2025, at the age of 97. She was celebrated for her remarkable 4-octave vocal range and acclaimed career in jazz and musical theater.
Frederick Wiseman, the quiet observer who changed documentary cinema forever. For nearly 6 decades, legendary American filmmaker Frederick Wiseman devoted his life to observing humanity with patience, honesty, and remarkable compassion. He was not a loud celebrity. He rarely chased headlines, avoided flashy filmmaking techniques, and never tried to force audiences into easy conclusions. Yet through quiet observation and relentless curiosity, Wiseman became one of the most influential documentary filmmakers in modern history. Frederick Wiseman was an American documentary filmmaker, editor, producer, and director whose films transformed the way audiences understood institutions, society, and everyday life. From hospitals and schools to police departments, libraries, boxing gyms, welfare offices, and city halls, Wiseman documented the systems that shaped ordinary human existence. He became famous for his immersive filmmaking style: no narration, no interviews, no dramatic music telling viewers how to feel. Instead, he allowed reality to unfold naturally before the camera. To many critics and film historians, Wiseman was not simply a documentarian. He was a historian of human behavior. His films became time capsules of America and later France, capturing not only institutions themselves, but the emotions, tensions, frustrations, and hopes hidden inside them. When news emerged that Frederick Wiseman had died on February 16, 2026, at the age of 96, the world of cinema lost one of its greatest observers. Tributes arrived from filmmakers, actors, critics, journalists, scholars, and ordinary viewers who had spent years studying his work. Many described him as a moral witness to modern society, a filmmaker who never stopped asking difficult questions. Weissman's importance cannot be measured only by awards or critical acclaim, though he received plenty of both. His true legacy lies in the way he changed documentary filmmaking itself. He showed that everyday life could contain extraordinary drama. He demonstrated that institutions were not abstract systems, but collections of real human beings struggling with power, dignity, fear, kindness, and survival. At a time when media often moved faster and louder, Weissman chose patience. He spent months filming, then months more editing hundreds of hours of footage into carefully structured cinematic experiences. He trusted audiences to think for themselves. That trust became one of the defining features of his career. Over time, Frederick Weissman became something rare in the arts, a filmmaker universally respected not only for his talent, but also for his integrity. He never chased trends. He never abandoned his methods for commercial success. He remained committed to honest observation until the final years of his life. This is the story of Frederick Weissman, the man who quietly revolutionized documentary cinema and spent nearly a century examining what it means to live inside modern society. Early life and background. Frederick Weissman was born on January 1, 1930, in Boston, Massachusetts, into a Jewish family deeply connected to education, discipline, and intellectual life. His parents, Gertrude Lee and Jacob Leah Weissman, raised him in an environment where learning was valued and curiosity was encouraged. Boston during the 1930s and 1940s was a city of traditions, institutions, and social structures, themes that would later dominate Weissman's filmmaking career. Though no one could have predicted it at the time, the young boy growing up among schools, government buildings, courts, and hospitals would eventually spend his life documenting those very kinds of institutions. Weissman's upbringing was relatively stable and intellectually rich. He developed an early interest in reading, politics, philosophy, and human behavior. Friends and classmates later remembered him as thoughtful, observant, and serious. Even as a young man, he seemed more interested in understanding people than impressing them. He attended the prestigious Williams College, where he studied English literature and graduated in 1951. Literature played an important role in shaping his worldview. Novels taught him that stories did not need simplistic heroes and villains to be compelling. Human beings were complicated. Institutions were complicated. Society itself was complicated. These ideas would become central to his films decades later. After Williams College, Weissman enrolled at Yale Law School and earned his law degree in 1954. Though he would eventually become famous as a filmmaker, law profoundly influenced his thinking. Legal education taught him to examine systems, power structures, rules, and the hidden mechanics of institutions. It also sharpened his analytical skills and strengthened his interest in how authority affects ordinary lives. Following law school, Weissman served in the United States Army after being drafted. Military life exposed him to another highly organized institution, one governed by hierarchy, discipline, and bureaucracy. The experience broadened his understanding of institutional culture, an understanding that later appeared throughout his documentaries. After his military service, Weissman spent time in Paris. Living in France expanded his artistic perspective and introduced him to European cinema and intellectual culture. Paris in the post-war years was alive with philosophy, literature, and film criticism. It was an environment where art was treated seriously and where filmmakers were exploring bold new approaches to storytelling. When Weissman returned to the United States, he began teaching law at Boston University. At first glance, his life seemed headed toward academia rather than filmmaking. He was intelligent, disciplined, and highly educated, qualities that suited a legal career perfectly. But beneath the surface, another fascination was growing. Weissman had become deeply interested in cinema, especially non-fiction filmmaking. Unlike fictional movies, documentaries offered a chance to engage directly with reality. They allowed filmmakers to observe society in action. Still, Weissman entered filmmaking relatively late compared to many directors. He did not attend film school or spend years working through Hollywood studios. Instead, he arrived from an entirely different world: law, education, and intellectual inquiry. That unusual path may have been one reason his work felt so different. Rather than approaching film as entertainment alone, Weissman approached it almost like an investigation into human systems. He wanted to understand how institutions functioned and how individuals survived within them. This intellectual foundation became one of the defining strengths of his career. Career journey. Frederick Weissman's filmmaking career began unexpectedly. In the 1960s, documentary filmmaking was evolving rapidly. Portable cameras and lighter sound equipment allowed filmmakers to capture events more naturally than ever before. The cinema verite and direct cinema movements were reshaping non-fiction storytelling. Weissman entered this changing world with curiosity and boldness. His first major project became one of the most controversial documentaries in American history. In 1967, Weissman released Titicut Follies, a shocking documentary filmed inside the Bridgewater State Hospital for the criminally insane in Massachusetts. The film exposed horrifying conditions inside the institution: neglect, humiliation, force-feeding, emotional abuse, and the dehumanizing treatment of patients. The documentary stunned audiences. Unlike traditional documentaries of the era, Titicut Follies offered no narrator explaining events. Weissman simply showed what he witnessed. The camera observed guards, doctors, administrators, and patients interacting within the institution. The result was devastating. The film quickly became controversial, especially because of concerns over patient privacy. Massachusetts authorities fought to suppress it, and for decades the film was heavily restricted in the United States. Ironically, the attempt to silence Titicut Follies helped cement Weissman's reputation. He was no longer simply a filmmaker. He became a fearless observer, willing to confront uncomfortable truths. The controversy also revealed something essential about Weissman's work. He was not interested in propaganda or simplistic activism. He did not create documentaries filled with speeches or ideological arguments. Instead, he trusted observation itself. If audiences watched carefully enough, they would recognize injustice on their own. After Titicut Follies, Weissman continued exploring American institutions through film. One by one, he entered spaces that most people rarely saw from the inside. In high school, 1968, he documented life inside a Philadelphia high school, revealing tensions surrounding conformity, authority, discipline, and education. In Law and Order, 1969, he followed police officers in Kansas City, capturing moments of conflict, power, and social tension. In Hospital, 1970, he explored the chaotic environment of a New York hospital emergency ward. Each film deepened his reputation as a master observer. Yet Weissman's documentaries were never simply exposés. They were more nuanced and layered than that. Even when institutions appeared flawed or cruel, Weissman searched for humanity within them. Doctors trying to help patients. Teachers struggling with students. Public workers overwhelmed by impossible systems. His films showed that institutions were made up of individuals, some compassionate, some indifferent, some trapped by bureaucracy. During the 1970s and 1980s, Weissman's career expanded dramatically. He founded Zipporah Films, his own production and distribution company, which allowed him to maintain complete creative independence. This decision proved crucial. Rather than relying on major studios or television executives, Weissman controlled his own work. That independence protected his artistic vision. Over the years, he developed a unique filmmaking method. Typically, he worked with a very small crew. He spent weeks or months filming inside an institution, capturing hundreds of hours of footage. Later, he edited the material himself, often over many months. Editing became the heart of his art. Weissman frequently said that documentaries are created in the editing room. Through structure, rhythm, and juxtaposition, he shaped observational footage into powerful cinematic experiences. His editing style avoided obvious conclusions. Instead, scenes accumulated slowly, allowing viewers to form their own interpretations. This approach required patience from audiences, but it also created extraordinary depth. Unlike fast-paced television documentaries filled with narration and quick cuts, Weissman's films demanded attention and reflection. By the 1980s and 1990s, he was internationally recognized as one of the greatest documentary filmmakers alive. Films such as Welfare, 1975, Model, 1980, The Store, 1983, Near Death, 1989, Public Housing, 1997, and Domestic Violence, 2001, explored increasingly complex social themes. Welfare, in particular, became one of his most celebrated works. Set inside a welfare office in New York City, the film captured emotional confrontations between citizens seeking assistance and workers trying to navigate an overloaded system. The documentary revealed frustration, dignity, desperation, compassion, and bureaucratic absurdity all at once. Weissman never simplified these encounters. He showed people arguing, waiting, pleading, crying, and struggling. And through those moments, he exposed the emotional reality of poverty in America. As his reputation grew, Weissman also expanded beyond the United States. He filmed cultural institutions in France, including the Paris Opera Ballet in La Danse, 2009, and the legendary Crazy Horse Cabaret in Crazy Horse, 2011. He documented museums, libraries, universities, boxing gyms, and city governments. No subject seemed too ordinary for his attention. That was one of Weissman's greatest gifts. He understood that everyday life contained extraordinary drama. A meeting inside City Hall. A conversation in a classroom. A rehearsal at a ballet company. A patient speaking with a doctor. To Weissman, these moments revealed society itself. Throughout his career, he resisted labels. Although critics often associated him with cinema verite or direct cinema, Weissman argued that his films were not objective records of reality. Editing inevitably shaped meaning. He preferred to describe his work as carefully constructed dramatic experiences built from real life. This honesty about filmmaking distinguished him from many documentarians. Weissman never pretended cameras were invisible or that documentaries represented absolute truth. Instead, he acknowledged that every film reflected choices, perspective, and interpretation. Even in his 90s, Weissman continued working. His later films, including Ex Libris, The New York Public Library, 2017, Monrovia, Indiana, 2018, City Hall, 2020, and Menus Placias, Les Trois Gros, 2023, demonstrated astonishing creative energy. Most filmmakers slow down with age. Weissman seemed driven by endless curiosity. By the end of his career, he had created nearly 50 films documenting modern civilization. Together, they formed one of the greatest bodies of work in documentary history. Major works and achievements. Frederick Weissman's filmography is one of the most remarkable achievements in non-fiction cinema. Over nearly 60 years, he directed documentaries that collectively created a portrait of modern society unlike anything else in film history. Each project focused on a specific institution, environment, or social system. Yet together, the films formed something much larger, a vast cinematic study of human behavior. Among his earliest and most important works was Titicut Follies. Released in 1967, the film remains one of the most influential documentaries ever made. Its raw portrayal of abuse inside a psychiatric institution shocked audiences and changed conversations about mental health facilities in America. The documentary's long censorship battle also made it historically important. For decades, screenings were restricted because authorities claimed the film violated patients' privacy rights. Critics, however, argued that suppressing the film protected institutional abuse rather than vulnerable individuals. Eventually, Titicut Follies became recognized as a landmark of documentary cinema. Then came High School in 1968. The film examined a Philadelphia high school during a period of cultural tension in America. Through classroom discussions, disciplinary meetings, and interactions between teachers and students, Weissman revealed how educational institutions shape behavior and enforce social expectations. The documentary captured the atmosphere of authority and conformity that dominated many schools at the time. Law and Order followed in 1969. By focusing on police officers in Kansas City, the film explored law enforcement at street level. It presented moments of violence, interrogation, routine patrols, and uneasy interactions between officers and civilians. Again, Weissman avoided narration. He trusted viewers to interpret the moral complexity themselves. Hospital 1970 became another milestone. Filmed inside Metropolitan Hospital in New York City, the documentary portrayed doctors, nurses, administrators, and patients navigating crisis after crisis. The film revealed both compassion and exhaustion inside the healthcare system. Many critics praised Weissman's ability to find humanity within institutional chaos. During the 1970s, Weissman produced some of his most politically significant work. Juvenile Court, 1973, explored the legal system dealing with young offenders. Primate, 1974, examined scientific research involving monkeys and sparked fierce ethical debates. Welfare, 1975, became one of his masterpieces. Set in a welfare office, the film documented emotionally charged interactions between poor citizens and government employees. The documentary remains painfully relevant decades later. People waiting for assistance. Workers buried under bureaucracy. Citizens trying desperately to maintain dignity. Weissman captured all of it with extraordinary patience. By the 1980s, his reputation had become international. Films like Model, 1980, explored the fashion industry. The Store, 1983, examined consumer culture through the lens of a Dallas department store. Near Death, 1989, entered hospital intensive care units and confronted profound questions about mortality, medical ethics, and end-of-life decisions. The film was emotionally overwhelming for many viewers. Yet it also demonstrated Weissman's fearlessness. He was willing to observe life at its most vulnerable. In the 1990s and 2000s, Weissman expanded further into cultural institutions. Ballet, 1995, documented the American Ballet Theatre. Public Housing, 1997, focused on life inside Chicago public housing projects. Domestic Violence, 2001, explored shelters and police responses to abuse cases. State Legislature, 2007, examined political negotiation inside the Idaho legislature. Unlike sensational political media, Weissman's film showed democracy as slow, procedural, and deeply human. One of his later triumphs was La Danse, the Paris Opera Ballet, 2009. The documentary combined artistic beauty with institutional observation. Weissman showed rehearsals, performances, meetings, technical work, and the immense labor behind world-class ballet. Critics praised the film's elegance and visual richness. Boxing Gym, 2010, demonstrated his ability to find meaning in smaller, more intimate spaces. Set almost entirely inside a boxing gym in Austin, Texas, the film became a meditation on discipline, community, struggle, and self-improvement. Then came At Berkeley, 2013, a detailed portrait of the University of California, Berkeley. The documentary explored education, politics, financial pressure, and academic life during a period of economic crisis. Once again, Weissman transformed meetings and conversations into gripping cinema. National Gallery, 2014, documented London's famous museum. In Jackson Heights, 2015, explored one of the most diverse neighborhoods in New York City. Ex Libris, the New York Public Library, 2017, celebrated libraries as democratic institutions dedicated to public knowledge. Many viewers considered Ex Libris one of Weissman's warmest and most hopeful films. The documentary emphasized the importance of public spaces where communities can gather, learn, and connect. Monrovia, Indiana, 2018, shifted focus to small-town America. City Hall, 2020, examined municipal government in Boston during a time of intense national political division. Even in his 90s, Weissman continued documenting society with extraordinary precision. His final major documentary, Menus Plaisirs, Les Trois Gros, 2023, focused on a world-famous French restaurant. The film explored culinary artistry, labor, hospitality, and tradition. Remarkably, after nearly 60 years of filmmaking, Weissman still approached subjects with freshness and curiosity. Throughout his career, he received numerous honors. In 2014, the Venice Film Festival awarded him the Golden Lion for Lifetime Achievement. In 2016, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences presented him with an honorary Academy Award. The award recognized not only his artistic achievements, but also his profound influence on documentary filmmaking. When accepting the Oscar, Weissman delivered remarks filled with humility and humor. He joked that working constantly had kept him off the streets. The audience laughed, but beneath the humor was truth. Filmmaking had been Weissman's lifelong mission. He also received Guggenheim and MacArthur Fellowships, Peabody Honors, Emmy Awards, and countless retrospective tributes from museums and film festivals worldwide. Yet despite these accolades, Weissman remained remarkably grounded. He rarely behaved like a celebrity. Instead, he continued working quietly, carefully, and independently. Many younger filmmakers considered him a mentor figure, even if they never met him personally. His influence extended across generations. Modern observational documentaries owe enormous debts to Weissman's techniques and philosophy. More importantly, his films preserved a vast historical record of modern life. Future generations studying America in the 20th and 21st centuries will almost certainly turn to Weissman's documentaries. They are not merely films. They are historical archives of human experience. Personal life. Despite his enormous reputation in the film world, Frederick Weissman remained intensely private throughout his life. He was not known for celebrity scandals, public feuds, or dramatic self-promotion. In many ways, he preferred observing others rather than speaking about himself. Friends and collaborators often described him as intellectually sharp, disciplined, witty, and deeply curious. Curiosity may have been the defining force of his personality. Even into his 90s, Weissman continued asking questions, exploring unfamiliar environments, and studying human behavior. He approached the world with the attention of a lifelong student. Weissman married Zipporah Batshaw in 1955. Their marriage lasted more than 60 years until her death in 2021. Zipporah played an important role in his life and career. She was highly educated and intellectually engaged, sharing many of Weissman's interests in culture and ideas. Together, they built a family while Weissman pursued one of the most demanding careers in documentary filmmaking. The couple had two sons, David and Eric. Although Weissman kept family life largely out of the public eye, those close to him often noted his devotion to his family. His production company, Zipporah Films, was named after his wife, a sign of the importance she held in his life. Weissman divided his time between Cambridge, Massachusetts, Maine, and Paris. France held a special place in his heart. He admired French culture, cinema, food, and intellectual traditions. Many of his later films focused on French institutions and artistic life. In interviews, Weissman displayed dry humor and self-awareness. Though critics frequently described him as a cinematic genius, he resisted grand theories about himself. He often spoke practically about filmmaking, discussing editing, logistics, observation, and work routines rather than artistic ego. One reason audiences respected him so deeply was his humility. Despite his influence, Weissman rarely acted superior. He understood that filmmaking involved collaboration, patience, and constant learning. He was also known for extraordinary discipline. Producing a Weissman documentary required massive commitment. He often spent weeks filming and many months editing. Some projects generated hundreds of hours of footage. Friends said he approached editing almost like a novelist shaping narrative structure. Indeed, Weissman frequently compared his films to novels. Rather than focusing on plot twists or traditional storytelling, he sought rhythm, thematic connection, and emotional complexity. Outside filmmaking, Weissman loved literature, theater, opera, and music. He also directed stage productions, demonstrating his broader artistic interests. Even though documentaries defined his reputation, he appreciated many forms of art. People who met him often commented on his attentiveness. He listened carefully. That listening ability became essential to his filmmaking. Weissman understood that observation requires patience and empathy. You cannot capture authentic human behavior if people feel manipulated or ignored. Perhaps that is why his documentaries often feel unusually intimate. People eventually forgot the camera and revealed themselves honestly. Despite spending decades documenting conflict, suffering, and institutional failure, Weissman did not become cynical. His films certainly acknowledged cruelty and injustice, but they also revealed kindness, intelligence, humor, and resilience. He believed human beings were complicated. That belief shaped both his art and his personality. Even late in life, Weissman continued attending film festivals, participating in interviews, and discussing cinema with younger artists. Many were astonished by his mental sharpness and creative energy. While others retired, Weissman remained actively engaged with the world. For him, filmmaking was not simply a profession. It was a way of understanding life itself. Challenges and struggles. Frederick Weissman's career was filled with artistic triumphs, but it was also shaped by controversy, resistance, and immense challenges. From the very beginning, his work unsettled powerful institutions. The greatest early struggle came with Titicut Follies. After the documentary exposed abusive conditions inside the Massachusetts Psychiatric Institution, authorities reacted aggressively. The state argued that the film violated patient privacy and sought to prevent public screenings. For decades, the documentary remained heavily restricted. This censorship battle became one of the most famous legal controversies in documentary history. For Weissman, the situation was frustrating and painful. He believed the public deserved to see the realities hidden inside the institution. Supporters argued that the suppression of the film protected the system rather than the patients. The controversy established Weissman as a fearless filmmaker willing to confront uncomfortable truths. But it also revealed the personal cost of challenging authority. Throughout his career, Weissman frequently entered spaces where institutions might prefer secrecy. Police departments, hospitals, government offices, military facilities. Gaining access required persistence, negotiation, and trust. Even after access was granted, there was always the possibility of backlash once a film was released. Weissman also faced financial struggles. Unlike commercial Hollywood directors, documentary filmmakers often operate with limited budgets. Weissman's films were rarely designed for mass-market entertainment. Many were long, demanding, and intellectually serious. Financing such projects required determination and independence. That is one reason founding Zipporah Films proved so important. By controlling production and distribution himself, Weissman protected his artistic freedom. However, independence also meant enormous responsibility. He could not rely on major studios to solve financial problems. Another challenge was public misunderstanding. Some viewers accused Weissman of being too critical of institutions. Others claimed he was not critical enough. Because his films avoided narration and explicit arguments, audiences sometimes projected their own political interpretations onto his work. Weissman accepted this ambiguity. He understood that reality itself is complicated. He resisted simplistic moral messaging because he believed human situations rarely fit neat ideological categories. Editing also presented immense challenges. Weissman often shot hundreds of hours of footage for a single documentary. Transforming that material into coherent cinema required extraordinary concentration and patience. The editing process could take many months. It was emotionally and intellectually exhausting. Yet Weissman believed this painstaking process was essential. He once explained that editing allowed him to discover the true meaning and structure of the material. Another difficulty came from changing media landscapes. As television and internet culture increasingly favored speed, short attention spans, and sensationalism, Weissman's films remained slow, observational, and reflective. Some younger viewers initially struggled with the pacing, but many eventually discovered that his style offered something modern media often lacked: depth. Weissman also faced personal loss. The death of his wife, Zipporah, in 2021 deeply affected him. They had shared more than 6 decades together. Friends said her absence left a profound emotional gap in his life. Yet even in grief, Weissman continued working. His dedication to filmmaking never disappeared. Acting itself became another challenge. Documentary filmmaking is physically demanding. It requires travel, long hours, observation, concentration, and relentless editing. Most people slow down significantly in old age. Weissman remained active into his 90s. That persistence amazed colleagues and admirers. Still, he never romanticized the work. He understood filmmaking as labor. Hard, exhausting, meaningful labor. Perhaps the greatest challenge Weissman faced was balancing observation with ethics. How close should a camera get to suffering? When does documentation become intrusion? How can filmmakers portray real people honestly while respecting their dignity? These questions followed Weissman throughout his career. His films often dealt with vulnerable individuals, psychiatric patients, hospital patients, domestic violence victims, struggling families, and impoverished citizens. Weissman approached these subjects with seriousness and restraint. He avoided manipulative music, sensational editing, and emotional exploitation. That ethical discipline became one of the defining strengths of his work. In many ways, Weissman spent his life wrestling with difficult questions rather than offering easy answers. That honesty made his films enduring. Legacy and impact. Frederick Weissman's influence on documentary filmmaking is almost impossible to overstate. Before Weissman, many documentaries relied heavily on narration, interviews, or explicit messaging. The filmmaker guided viewers toward predetermined conclusions. Weissman changed that. He trusted observation. He trusted audiences. His films demonstrated that reality itself could contain dramatic structure, emotional depth, and philosophical complexity. Generations of filmmakers learned from his methods. Modern observational documentaries owe enormous debts to Weissman's style. The idea that a camera can quietly observe institutions without narration became one of the defining techniques of serious nonfiction cinema. Yet Weissman's influence extended beyond technique. He changed how audiences think about institutions themselves. Schools, hospitals, police departments, libraries, governments, museums. Most people interact with these systems daily, but rarely pause to examine how they actually function. Weissman devoted his life to that examination. His films revealed that institutions are not abstract machines. They are collections of human relationships shaped by power, compassion, bureaucracy, fear, and hope. One reason his work remains so important is that he refused easy ideological narratives. He did not simply condemn institutions as evil, nor did he celebrate them uncritically. Instead, he explored complexity. Inside the same institution, viewers might witness kindness and cruelty, intelligence and incompetence, dignity and humiliation. This complexity made his films feel profoundly human. Critics frequently described Weissman as a moral filmmaker, not because he preached morality, but because he cared deeply about human dignity. His camera paid attention to people's society often ignored. Patients, students, workers, poor families, elderly citizens, immigrants, public servants. He believed their lives mattered. Weissman also transformed documentary editing into a sophisticated art form. Many viewers underestimate how carefully structured his films were. Though they appear observational and spontaneous, the editing process involved extraordinary creative decisions. Weissman built emotional rhythms, thematic patterns, and dramatic tension from real-life footage. Some scholars compared his documentaries to novels because of their layered complexity. His impact on film education has been enormous. Universities around the world teach Weissman's work in courses on cinema, journalism, sociology, political science, ethics, and American studies. Students continue studying his films not only as art, but also as social documents. He preserved moments of history that might otherwise have disappeared. The New York Public Library in the 2010s, a welfare office in the 1970s, a public housing complex in the 1990s, a city hall during political crisis. Weissman documented these environments with astonishing detail. Future historians will likely use his films to understand daily life during the 20th and 21st centuries. His influence also crossed international borders. French audiences especially embraced his work. Many European critics regarded him as one of America's greatest living filmmakers. In France, documentary cinema has long been treated with intellectual seriousness, and Weissman fit naturally into that cultural tradition. The honors he received reflected his global importance. the Golden Lion for Lifetime Achievement, the Honorary Academy Award, retrospectives at major museums and film festivals. But perhaps his greatest achievement was longevity. Weissman remained creatively vital for nearly 60 years. Very few filmmakers sustain such high artistic quality across so many decades. Even in his 90s, his documentaries continued receiving critical acclaim. Younger filmmakers often expressed awe at his discipline. He proved that curiosity does not need to fade with age. More than anything else, Frederick Weissman leaves behind a way of seeing, a way of paying attention. In a noisy world obsessed with quick opinions and instant reactions, Weissman taught audiences the value of patient observation. He reminded us that understanding society requires listening carefully, watching closely, and resisting simplistic conclusions. That may be his most important legacy of all. Death. Frederick Weissman died on February 16, 2026, at the age of 96. He passed away at his home in Cambridge, Massachusetts, surrounded by the legacy of a remarkable life dedicated to cinema, observation, and intellectual curiosity. His death was announced in a statement released by his family and Zippora Films, the company he founded decades earlier. Although detailed information regarding the exact cause of death was not immediately made public, tributes quickly poured in from around the world. For many people in the film industry, Weissman's passing felt like the end of an era. Filmmakers, critics, actors, journalists, scholars, and cultural institutions honored him as one of the greatest documentarians in history. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences praised his extraordinary contribution to non-fiction cinema. Film festivals that had celebrated his work for decades released emotional statements. Writers described him as a master observer, a giant of documentary filmmaking, and one of the most important cinematic chroniclers of modern society. Younger directors shared stories about discovering his films in classrooms and theaters. Many said Weissman changed the way they understood cinema itself. The news of his death also sparked renewed interest in his filmography. Audiences revisited classics like Titicut Follies, Welfare, Hospital, High School, Ex Libris, and City Hall. Critics reflected on how remarkably relevant his documentaries remained. Issues he explored decades earlier, healthcare inequality, education, policing, bureaucracy, poverty, and institutional power, continued shaping public life. One reason the tributes felt so emotional was that Weissman represented artistic integrity. In an industry often driven by trends, celebrity culture, and commercial pressure, he remained independent. He spent nearly 60 years making films according to his own principles. That consistency earned profound respect. Many obituaries emphasized Weissman's extraordinary productivity. Even into his 90s, he continued creating thoughtful, ambitious documentaries. Few filmmakers remain artistically active for so long. Fewer still continue producing important work at such an advanced age. For viewers who spent decades watching his films, Weissman's death felt deeply personal. His documentaries had accompanied generations through changing political and cultural eras. He documented America's institutions during moments of optimism, crisis, reform, and division. His work became part of the historical memory of modern society. Yet even after his death, Frederick Weissman's presence remains alive through his films. Every documentary he created continues asking viewers to observe carefully, think critically, and engage honestly with the world. That is the remarkable thing about documentary cinema. It preserves not only events and institutions, but also the perspective of the artist behind the camera. Weissman's perspective, patient, curious, humane, and intellectually fearless, survives in every frame. Conclusion. Frederick Wiseman lived a life devoted to understanding humanity. He did not seek fame in the traditional sense. He rarely chased celebrity attention or public spectacle. Instead, he spent nearly 60 years quietly observing the world. Schools, hospitals, libraries, courtrooms, city halls, ballet companies, police departments, restaurants, neighborhoods. Where others saw ordinary institutions, Wiseman saw stories. He saw people struggling for dignity, authority, connection, survival, and meaning. Through his camera, everyday life became cinematic. What made Wiseman extraordinary was not simply his technical skill, though he possessed enormous talent. It was his patience and moral seriousness. He believed people deserved to be observed honestly. He refused simplistic narratives. He trusted audiences to think deeply. That trust became increasingly rare in modern media. Throughout his career, Wiseman remained independent, intellectually curious, and artistically fearless. He confronted difficult realities without exploitation. He documented suffering without reducing people to victims. He explored institutions without pretending they were either purely evil or purely good. Instead, he revealed complexity. That complexity is what made his films feel profoundly human. For younger filmmakers, Wiseman became a model of artistic integrity. He proved that documentaries could be serious art. He proved that observation could be powerful. And he proved that curiosity could last a lifetime. Even in his 90s, he continued working, learning, and exploring. His career reminds us that creativity does not belong only to youth. It belongs to anyone willing to keep paying attention. Today, Frederick Wiseman's films stand as one of the greatest cinematic archives of modern civilization. Future generations will continue watching them to understand how people lived, worked, governed, argued, healed, learned, and dreamed. That may be the ultimate achievement of his life. He captured humanity in motion. Frederick Wiseman did not simply make documentaries. He taught the world how to look more carefully at itself. And in doing so, he ensured that his voice, quiet, thoughtful, and compassionate, will continue echoing through cinema for generations to come.